Have you ever wondered where the modern vampire came from? Forget the sparkling, romantic types for a moment. Let's travel back in time. Not to ancient folklore, but to a stormy night in 1816. A night that would forever change horror. This is the story of the first modern vampire. A creature born from a ghost story competition among literary giants. Picture this. Lord Byron, Percy Bysshe Shelley, Mary Shelley, and a young, ambitious doctor named John Polidori are trapped indoors by relentless rain at the Villa Diodati in Switzerland. To pass the time, Byron challenges everyone to write a ghost story. We all know Mary Shelley created a masterpiece, Frankenstein, but another legend was born that night, one that would give rise to Dracula and every suave, deadly vampire that followed. Polidori, who was Lord Byron's personal physician, initially struggled. Byron himself started a story about a mysterious aristocrat, but quickly abandoned it. Polidori, however, couldn't let the idea go. He took Byron's fragment and, fueled by his own complicated and often difficult relationship with the flamboyant poet, crafted something entirely new. In 1819, The Vampire was published, and the world met Lord Ruthven. Before Lord Ruthven, vampires in folklore were often depicted as shuffling, grotesque corpses, more like zombies who happened to drink blood. They were peasants, reanimated and repulsive, but Lord Ruthven was different. He was a British aristocrat, charming, mysterious, and utterly magnetic. He moved through high society, his pale complexion and brooding eyes drawing people in, especially innocent young women. He was the monster hiding in plain sight, a wolf in the most expensive sheep's clothing. Sound familiar? That's because Lord Ruthven is the blueprint for the vampires we know and love today. He's the original Count Dracula. The originalist, the original angel. He's the first vampire to use his social standing and seductive charm as his primary weapons. He doesn't just drain his victims of blood, he drains them of their wealth, their reputation, and their very life force, all while being the most captivating man in the room. The story follows a young, naive gentleman named Aubrey, who becomes fascinated by the enigmatic Lord Ruthven. They travel through Europe together, and Aubrey is both drawn to and repulsed by Ruthven's cold, calculating nature. He witnesses Ruthven's destructive influence, how he preys on the virtuous and leaves a trail of ruin. Aubrey slowly uncovers the terrifying truth. His companion is a vampire, a creature that feeds on the living. A key moment happens in Greece, where Aubrey falls for a beautiful innkeeper's daughter, Ianthe. She tells him local legends of the vampire, unknowingly describing the very man he travels with. Tragically, Ianthe is found dead, her throat torn, the mark of the beast upon her. Aubrey is devastated, but the true horror is yet to come. Later, after a series of dramatic events, Ruthven is seemingly killed by bandits, but before he dies, he makes Aubrey swear a solemn oath. For a year and a day, Aubrey must not reveal Ruthven's true nature or his death to anyone. Aubrey, grieving and traumatized, returns to London, only to find the impossible has happened. Lord Ruthven is alive, well, and has completely infiltrated London's high society. And worse, he has set his sights on Aubrey's own innocent sister. Aubrey is trapped by his oath. He knows the monster his sister is about to marry, but he cannot speak a word of it. His attempts to warn his family are dismissed as madness. He's locked away, powerless, as the wedding day approaches. The tension is unbearable. Aubrey is a man bound by honor to protect a monster, forced to watch his loved one walk into a deadly trap. This psychological torment is a huge part of the story's power. It's not just about the monster, it's about the human cost of encountering such evil. The story explores themes of temptation, corruption, and the terrifying power of secrets. On the very day the oath expires, Aubrey frantically writes a letter to his sister's guardians, revealing everything, but it's too late. By the time the letter is read, the year and a day have passed. Lord Ruthven has married Aubrey's sister, and on their wedding night, she is found dead, drained of her blood. Ruthven has vanished, free to continue his reign of terror elsewhere. Aubrey, broken by his failure and the immense psychological strain, dies from a burst blood vessel, a truly bleak and chilling ending. When The Vampire was first published, it was mistakenly attributed to Lord Byron. This error actually helped its success, as Byron was a massive celebrity. The public was fascinated by the idea of this scandalous poet writing such a dark tale, especially since the character of Lord Ruthven seemed to be a direct, unflattering caricature of Byron himself, charismatic, seductive, but ultimately cold and destructive. Polidori had to fight to get the credit he deserved, but the story's impact was already undeniable. It became a sensation, spawning stage plays and imitations across Europe. It single-handedly transformed the vampire from a folkloric ghoul into a sophisticated, aristocratic predator. Every time you see a vampire in a tuxedo, attending a lavish party, or using their hypnotic charm to lure in a victim, you are seeing the legacy of John Polidori's Lord Ruthven. Bram Stoker's Dracula, published nearly 80 years later, owes a massive debt to The Vampire. Stoker took the aristocratic blueprint and perfected it, creating the most famous vampire of all time. But the foundation was laid by Polidori. So, the next time you delve into a vampire story, remember that stormy night at the Villa Di... Remember the young doctor, overshadowed by literary giants, who channeled his personal frustrations into a character that would define a genre. The Vampire is more than just an old horror story. It's the birth certificate of the modern vampire, a timeless tale of a monster who wears a human face, reminding us that the greatest dangers often come in the most attractive packages. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the origins of the vampire. If you enjoyed this deep dive into literary history, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories behind the stories, and let me know in the comments who your favorite classic monster is. Until next time, stay curious.